last Sunday, minutes after the 10:30 Mass was finished, I received an email from a family in the parish. Now, the email was not one of strife. Okay. Rather, it was one of an honest sharing and inquiry from the children of this family in the parish. And the parent who wrote the email said, the kids are hoping that next Sunday, which is this Sunday, that I would be wearing rose vestments. Actually, one of the kids said pink vestments. Immediately was corrected by the other two children. Liturgically correct children, we'd love to hear it. So here we are, Gaudete Sunday, rose color vestments. Of course, the question is there a difference between rose and pink? And I know the answer is yes, so don't start that argument now. But rejoice. We're being reminded about that today. To be happy, not only that the Lord is come or coming, the Lord has come. Not only to rejoice because the Lord is near, that Christmas is less than 2 weeks away. But I think there's more to it all than that. Maybe we're being reminded on one level to see the joy, if you will, to see the good that's happening around us, even amidst personal struggles and even amidst a pandemic. I just had one of the news shows on in my office before Mass, and the guy who was doing this interview with a doctor sort of said something at the end like, it's been a real bad year, but we have something to rejoice about now. The vaccine. It's coming. But I would also say, in the spirit of patience and Advent, be patient. It ain't over yet. We need to get a lot of us vaccinated over the next 6 months or so. But that's not why I'm here. You know, where did you and I see or hear about, if you will, joy happening around us? Again, this morning I had the radio on in my house as I was doing whatever I do in the morning, and a guy has a regular radio show, and he started off his show by talking about what his routine is on Sunday. You know, he does his radio show, and he either goes to church, I think he goes to church after the Mass. After the show, he goes to Mass. And obviously he's Catholic. So he said, one of the things I did this week, he says, I made a generous donation to my parish, or to this parish. I don't think it's his regular parish, to a certain parish. He says, it's a small little parish. He says, I know they need the help. And then he starts to tell a story, a personal story, about how when he was driving his car, he was using Troy, New York as the example. He says, as I'm driving around Troy, he says, sometimes I'll see a person, usually it's a woman with a couple of children, going through the garbage trying to get some deposit bottles. And he said, I literally stop. I get out of my car. He says, and I give him some money. And sort of knowing this guy a little bit, I'm sure it's more than $2. And, he said, I'm trying to do something like this every day, at least till Christmas. Of course, the thought came to my mind, there's lots of days till next Christmas, too. So maybe that's every day. But I'm sure he brought some solace to that family or families during the week. I like you, we're supposed to take our 40,000 steps a day. How many have seen that commercial? Seen the commercial? Okay. There's the lady on the bench, and she's got a dog, and the dog has the tracker on the tail. And some joggers come by, he goes, I did my 40,000 steps today, you know. Well, I was out for a little walk yesterday, a couple of days ago, at the mall, the Colony Mall. And first of all, there's hardly any people there. I wasn't there to shop. I was just sort of walking inside where the weather was nicer. But walking by the windows, and I'm not even looking at what's for sale or not. I don't really care because I've taken care of that. But I happened to see this window where there was a photographer taking a picture of a little infant. And the smile on this kid's face was, something to behold. It was a great photo, if you will. And then as I took another step, because there was a beam, so I couldn't see on the other side, the next window, but on the other side of that beam was the mother. And the mother had a big smile on her face too. I'm sure happy that her child was happy, but also happy that the child was not giving any grief and had a big smile, and it'd be a great picture for whomever. A couple days ago, we have donated gift cards that we disperse to a variety of agencies just prior to Christmas. And we'll give you a report on this after Christmas. But the parish, as usual, was very generous. And so since it's gift cards, it's much easier to transport that to the agencies. And so the person who takes care of that for the parish, we had them all divvied up, so to speak. And the person herself had a smile on her face because this generosity through the gift cards was being shared with these agencies. And I'm sure that when she brought them to these agencies, the people that run them were most happy too. And then if you think about it, in a week or two, when Christmas comes and these gift cards, either directly or indirectly, because they might buy some gifts for people, are shared, there will be some joy, some happiness that we've brought to another. You hear of the joy that's attained by even a virtual visit, You hear of, because nursing homes and hospitals are pretty much locked down still, family members can't get in. Even priests can't get in. Okay, that's how regimented it is. But then you see an article on the news where on the first floor of an institution, a hospital, a nursing facility, there'll be a person in a room on the first floor, and then on the other side there'll be a person outside. They're there. They can see each other, and then they got phones in their hands. And it means a lot. It means a lot. It brings some joy, some solace to these people. But as Isaiah the prophet reminds us today, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. The Lord has sent me to bring glad tidings to all people. Notice what Isaiah says or doesn't say. He says, the Lord, the Spirit of God, is upon me. He doesn't say, hey, it's upon all you people, which is also true. But he starts with himself and asks us to start with ourselves, to see that God's Spirit is within all of us, and that all of us are being sent to share glad tidings. And what does this glad tidings mean? It sounds like Christmas. No, it's about good news. Glad tidings is good news. The good news. The good news that God never abandons us. In the midst of, just not because we're in a pandemic, but just in the midst of how lives are lived in this pandemic, there's much stress and maybe we've all experienced our own selves to some degree, there's much stress that is associated with this pandemic. And how do others know, directly or indirectly, that God, first of all, is with us and with them, that our God never abandons us, no matter the situation, no matter how dire it may seem. God is with us. So are other people. The good news that people want to hear is that we are with them. We're with them not just in the words, hey, I support you, and then we go our way. Maybe sometimes it's only a word that's needed, and that's okay. But many times it's a little more than that. It's our personal witness. It's our personal actions, individually or collectively. And it's through them that we bring to one another and to others joy and love and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness, and on the list goes. This weekend I would suggest to you that we're being called not just to rejoice, to do that, but also to rejoice in the good that we see in others, but also to be a cause, to be a reason for other people to rejoice by the difference we make for one another and for others. So the question might well be, how can we today, tomorrow, the week to come, the year to come, how can we and how will we and how will we continue, in a sense, to bring a smile to one another, but a smile that is indicative of something much more deeper, a smile that's brought on by our words, our expressions, and our actions, as big or as small as they might be. These words and expressions and actions that bring people to rejoice, that bring people to give thanks to the Lord, that the Lord has come into their lives, that the Lord has come into the life of the world, not just yesterday, but today.